Welcome to Anglican Origins, the podcast that explores the history of the Anglo-Saxon people, from their origins to the Norman conquest. In each episode, we'll dive deep into the lives of the key figures of this fascinating period, from kings and queens to warriors and poets. Through storytelling and analysis, we'll explore the events that shaped this pivotal era in English history, and how they still resonate today. Hello again and welcome back to Anglican Origins episode number 2. In the last episode, we looked at the migration and the origins of the Anglo-Saxons, who they were and where they came from, and how they helped shape and form England as we know it today. If you haven't yet heard that episode, feel free to go back and check it out later on. In today's episode, we'll be looking at the conversion to Christianity and the role of the church in Anglo-Saxon England, and explore how the country was transformed by the arrival of Christian missionaries and the establishment of the church. We'll talk about the challenges and obstacles the church faced, as well as its role in shaping Anglo-Saxon culture and literature, and its impact on social justice and human rights. So sit back, relax, and get ready to take a journey through time to discover the role of the church in Anglo-Saxon England. Let's get started. The conversion to Christianity in Anglo-Saxon England was a gradual and complex process that took place over several centuries, starting in the 6th century and continuing until the 10th century. It was not a sudden or uniform event, but a slow process of cultural and religious change that involved many different factors, including political, social, and economic factors. The conversion began with the arrival of Christian missionaries from Rome and Ireland, who brought with them the Latin and Celtic versions of Christianity. These early missionaries included St. Augustine of Canterbury, who was sent by Pope Gregory the Great to convert the Anglo-Saxons in 597 AD. Augustine was tasked with converting the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms to Christianity and establishing a church that would eventually become the Church of England. Before Augustine's arrival, England was a land of various pagan tribes, each with its own set of religious beliefs and practices. The process of Christianization was therefore a significant challenge, as it not only involved converting individuals, but also changing the entire cultural and social fabric of the country. Augustine's first attempt to convert the Anglo-Saxons took place in Kent, where he was greeted by the king, Ethelbert. Now, Ethelbert was married to a Frankish Christian princess called Berta, which helped to establish a friendly relationship between the king and the Christian missionaries. Ethelbert allowed the missionaries to establish a base in Canterbury, where they built the church and began preaching to the local population. The conversion of Kent was a significant milestone for Christianity in England, as it paved the way for the conversion of other Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Augustine continued his mission, and by the time of his death in 604, he had established churches in several of the regions, including Essex and East Anglia. The success of Augustine's mission was due in part to his approach to Christianization. He recognised the importance of working with local leaders and using existing structures to help spread the message of Christianity by adapting already sacred areas to hold ceremonies. He also adapted the Christian message to fit the cultural and social context of those Anglo-Saxons, using familiar symbols and traditions to help communicate the message of Christ. Another significant factor to the success of Augustine's mission was the support he received from Rome. Pope Gregory the Great had a clear vision of the importance of Christianizing England, and he provided Augustine with the resources and authority he needed to carry out his mission. Augustine's mission had a profound impact on English society. It helped establish a sense of unity and identity among the various Anglo-Saxon tribes, and provided a new framework for social and moral values. Christianity also played a crucial role in the development of Anglo-Saxon literature, as many of the earliest surviving works were written or copied by monks in monasteries established by Augustine and his followers. St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, also played a significant role in spreading Christianity throughout Anglo-Saxon England. Born in Roman Britain in the late 4th century, Patrick was captured by Irish raiders and taken to Ireland as a slave. He later escaped and returned to England, where he trained to be a missionary and eventually became a bishop. Patrick's influence on Anglo-Saxon England can be seen throughout his establishment of monasteries and churches, which served as centres of Christian learning and evangelization. He's believed to establish a monastery at Glastonbury, which became one of the most important monastic centres in England. The monastery played a significant role in spreading Christianity throughout the region, and its influence can be seen in the development of English literature and culture. Patrick's influence on Anglo-Saxon England was not limited to the establishment of monasteries and churches, however. he was also a powerful evangelist, known for his ability to convert pagans to Christianity. His use of indigenous symbols and traditions helped to make Christianity more accessible and relevant to the people of England. Patrick's legacy can also be seen in the lives of many early Christian saints and missionaries who were influenced by him. These include St. Aidan of Lindisfarne, who played a crucial role in spreading Christianity throughout Northumbria, and St. Cuthbert, who we'll be discussing in a later episode. One of the primary reasons for the conversion was the influence of the Anglo-Saxon kings, who saw Christianity as a means of strengthening their power and unifying their kingdoms. The conversion was also driven by the desire to establish links with the wider Christian world, which would help promote trade and commerce. The role of the church in Anglo-Saxon England was crucial in the conversion process. The church provided a new framework for beliefs, values and practices that challenged the traditional pagan worldview, and provided a sense of continuity with the Roman Empire, which was seen as a symbol of civilization and cultural achievement. The church also played a significant role in promoting education and literacy, which was necessary for the translation and dissemination of Christian texts. Monks and nuns were responsible for copying and preserving these texts, and they also played a crucial role in developing a written culture in Anglo-Saxon England. Moreover, the church played a vital role in establishing and maintaining social order. It provided a framework of laws and regulations that governed all aspects of life, including marriage, inheritance, and the treatment of slaves. Although slavery was a common practice during this period, the church worked to establish rules governing the treatment of slaves and to mitigate the worst abuses of the system. The church taught that all human beings were created in the image of God and therefore deserved to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their status as slaves. The church also encouraged the manumission or release of slaves and established laws that limited the length of time a person could be held in slavery. The church also acted as a mediator in disputes between individuals and communities, which helped prevent violence and maintain social harmony. Another crucial role to the church during this time was its role as a cultural and artistic centre. The church was also responsible for the construction of magnificent cathedrals and churches that served as symbols of Christian power and influence. These buildings were also the centre of learning and artistic production, where illuminated manuscripts, sculptures, and other works of art were created. Furthermore, the church played an essential role in the development of the English language. Latin was the language of the church, but over time it gave way to the development of the English language. The translation of the Bible and other Christian texts into Old English helped to standardise the language and make it more accessible to the general population. The development of a written language also helped to preserve the cultural heritage of Anglo-Saxon England. However, the conversion to Christianity was not without its challenges. Many Anglo-Saxons were deeply attached to their pagan beliefs and traditions, and it took time for them to fully embrace Christianity. The conversion was also complicated by the diverse nature of the Anglo-Saxon society, which consisted of numerous independent kingdoms, each with its own customs and traditions. Moreover, the church was not always successful in promoting its message, and there were instances of resistance and opposition to Christianization. For example, in the early 8th century, the king of Mercia, Penda, led a rebellion against the spread of Christianity in his kingdom, which was at the time heavily promoted by the Northumbrian king Oswald. Penda saw Christianity as a threat to his authority and the traditional pagan beliefs of his people. He believed that the Christian god was weak and that the pagan gods were more powerful. Penda's resistance to Christianity was also fueled by political motivations, as he saw the Christian missionaries as an ally of his enemies. Penda's rebellion against Christianity was marked by a series of battles, including the famous Battle of Massafield in 642, where he defeated and killed King Oswald. He continued to resist the spread of Christianity for several years, but eventually his own son converted to Christianity and was baptised by the Northumbrian bishop Aidan. Penda himself never converted to Christianity and remained a staunch pagan until his death. Despite Penda's resistance, Christianity continued to spread throughout Anglo-Saxon England, and the influence of the church continued to grow. The church established monasteries and schools, which played a crucial role in the development of English literature and culture. The conversion of Christianity also helped to unite the various Anglo-Saxon tribes and fostered a sense of national identity. Another significant challenge for the church was the emergence of the Viking raids in the late 8th century. The Vikings were pagan, and their attacks on Anglo-Saxon England led to the destruction of many churches and monasteries, as well as the killing of many clergy and monks. The most famous of these raids being the raid on the Lindisfarne Monastery in 793. This period was particularly challenging for the church as it had to rebuild many of its institutions and face the challenge of re-evangelizing the population. Despite these challenges, the church played a vital role in the development of Anglo-Saxon England. It helped to shape the country's culture, identity, and values, and provided a sense of unity and continuity in the face of political and social upheavals. The Church's emphasis on forgiveness and charity also helped to shape the Anglo-Saxon attitude towards social justice and the treatment of the poor and marginalised. The Church also played a crucial role in the development of Anglo-Saxon literature. Many of the most significant works of Anglo-Saxon literature, such as Beowulf and the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, were written or copied by monks and nuns in monasteries. These works helped to shape the country's literary heritage and continue to influence English literature to this day. So to conclude, the conversion to Christianity and the role of the Church were complex and multifaceted processes that took place over several centuries. The Church played a crucial role in promoting Christianization and shaping the country's culture, values and identity. It also played a vital role in promoting education and literacy, establishing social order and developing the English language. Despite the challenges and obstacles it faced, the Church's role in the development of Anglo-Saxon England cannot be overstated, and its legacy continues to be felt today. And that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the impact of Christianization on Anglo-Saxon society and the challenges and achievements of the Church and the legacy it left behind. Thank you so much for listening and spending some of your time here with me. Please feel free to follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and anywhere else you like to listen to your podcasts. Like it, share it, rate it, all that good stuff. It really means a great deal to me. Join me next time as we delve further into the world of the Anglo-Saxons as we continue to explore their remarkable society, culture, and everyday lives. Until then, take care and stay curious. Bye-bye. Which served as centres for Christian learning and evangelization. That's it, evangelion. That's not the right one. Evangelization.